Good morning! It is Saturday, the 10th of March, and it is a new week, so hello. I have just returned from my Weight Watchers meeting. This week we were talking about eating out. Actually, I learned a really cool thing at the meeting that I didn't know before. If you go on the app, on the actual calculator, if you know the number of calories, like if you're eating out, a lot of restaurants, they'll have next to the items on the menu how many calories are in something, but it doesn't have all of the nutritional values. So what you can do is put just the calorie amount into the calculator, and then put 0 in all of the other boxes if you're on Android. If you're on a smartphone, like an Apple phone, if you just put the calories in, it does it automatically, but it will tell you the worst case scenario number of points based on the calories, so you can kind of have an idea of what the points would be when you're eating out, if that's the case. So I thought that was really cool, so I shared it with you guys. And yeah, so the meeting was really good. I actually lost this week, so that was always nice. I used half a pound, but that was awesome for the week that I've had. So siren. So yeah, I'm just ready to start my new week. I'm just feeling really upbeat, and I feel like this is it. You know, I'm doing it. So yeah, it's really good. And tomorrow I'm going to make a chili stew, which is basically, it's like a chili, but with like chunky meat, like the beef pieces rather than like mince. So it's like a stew. There's also chili. It's really good. So I'm gonna make that tomorrow in my slow cooker. So that'll be fun. And yeah, I will keep up with you guys through the week, and we will have an awesome week. I know it. So yeah. Hey, so it's Sunday morning, and I am just getting ready to do my chili stew. So I'm going to do that in the slow cooker. I'm going to show you how I do that. Just wanted to let you know, look. What's that? My weekly planner. Oh yes, I have done it. Well, thank you. So yeah, that's done. So I am prepared for the week. So that's awesome. And yeah, I'm just getting ready to do my recipe. So let's get started. I'm just going to show you first what we've got to work with. So starting off, we've got 4 jacket potatoes. I usually buy them as jackets because I just find it's less peeling and it's easier to portion, because I know like a potato per person rather than getting the small potatoes, and then I get kind of usually end up with potato overload. So that's what we've got there. We've got mild chili powder, smoked paprika, ground coriander, mixed herbs. We've also got a beef stock cube over there. Then we have got some kidney beans, some chickpeas, some chopped tin tomatoes, passata, extra lean British beef diced casserole steak. We've got a little bit of chorizo. We've got my frozen mixed peppers, frozen mixed onions, and we've got some mushrooms. So that's all of our ingredients, and I'm just going to prep those. Okay, so I've peeled and chopped my potatoes, and they're in nice little chunks. I've just gone through all of my beef and checked that all the pieces are kind of even size. I've chopped up my chorizo, I've chopped up my mushrooms, I've opened my cans of kidney beans and my chickpeas and just kind of rinsed and drained those off. I've added 500 ml of boiling water to my stock cube, so that is now 500 ml of stock. And I also got out my tomato puree, which I forgot to mention. I was doing so well, but yeah. So that's all my ingredients ready. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to add my spices to my stock. So here on my spoon, I've got 1.5 teaspoons of my mild chili powder. I've got 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of my coriander, and I guess about 2 or 3 teaspoons of the mixed herbs. And I'm just going to dump those in there and give it a nice stir. And then I'm also going to add probably probably about a tablespoon of my tomato puree. So next we've got out the trusty blender. We are adding our chickpeas. We are also adding our stock mixture we just made. And we're going to blend that all up. There we go, it's all blended now. And the chickpeas are kind of acting as my thickening agent. So now I'm just going to put that actually in my slow cooker. So here's my slow cook pot. I've got it now turned on to high. And I'm going to just pour this straight in. And that is the base now for my chili stew. So my next step is basically just warming up all of my ingredients before I put them in the slow cooker, just so that they're kind of already warm so they can just start cooking straight away. So first I've got my potatoes, I've got a tiny bit of fry light in there, and I'm just going to fry those up for probably about 5 minutes. So it's been about 5 minutes. They're just getting warmed up and they're looking like they're ready. In we go. And I will just stir that through. So I decided to stick with the vegetables. So again, tiny bit of fry light, and I've got my peppers and onions. I am defrosting them, heating them up. So my peppers and onions are looking good, and I'm just going to chuck them in. Again, tiny bit of fry light, and I've got my mushrooms on. So yeah, I'm just going to pretty much cook them. My mushrooms looking good, and in they go. So the last of my veg, I've got my tin of tomatoes and half of the passata. I've saved the other half because I'm going to put it with the kidney beans when I heat those up. So I've just given that a couple of minutes, and then in it goes. That's it so far. It's looking pretty yummy. So there's the kidney beans with the last of the passata, and we're just going to do that for a couple of minutes. So that's it done. All warmed up, and I'm adding it in. So I've got a tiny bit of fry light and my beef. So I'm literally just browning this off, sort of sealing it, I guess. So there's my meat. I literally just sealed it. I'm gonna chuck it in. So again, we've just got a tiny amount of fry light, and we are just cooking this off a little bit to release the oils. There's literally been like a minute, and I'm just adding those in. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the last of the juices off of the pan by putting a tiny bit of boiling water in there. And that's just going to get the last of the kind of meat juices and stuff. So I can add that also. And obviously that nice chorizo oil. And from the pan, so that I don't lose any of that. And put it in my slow cooker. So that's it all stirred through. At this stage is a really good time to have just a tiny taste of the like liquid, just to see if it's going to be to your taste. Now I've had my master's taster, my husband, try it. He says it's not hot enough, because obviously I've used mild chili powder this time. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of this hot pepper sauce. So I've literally just added a teaspoon of the hot sauce, and I've added a teaspoon of lime juice, because I just felt like it could do with a little bit of, I don't know, something citrusy. So that is it, ready. So it's going to be on for about 6 hours on high, cooking away all day. The ingredients as it is between 4 people, 10 points per portion, but I'm not sure if it's going to do 4 or it could possibly be more than that, because there's a lot of food there. So we'll see when it's done and I actually portion it out whether that's going to be accurate. So obviously if you wanted it to have less points, you could use some butternut squash instead of potato. That's the only place I think you could shave some points off it, because I wouldn't change anything else myself. And obviously the portion sizes, so you know, the more people you do it for, you can bulk it out with more veg, and then you know you're going to lose some points there. The other thing is, obviously this has taken me quite a while. It's taken me like about an hour, Normally it doesn't take me this long. It is obviously it's slowed down when I'm filming anyway. But also, whenever we use the slow cooker, if we've got friends coming around or if we're going out for the day, I usually have my husband come in and help me. So he usually chops the vegetables for me, and then I cook them literally. So he'll prep one, I'll cook it, he'll start prepping the next bit. We have a kind of production line going, and it really speeds it up. So, you know, if you can get some help, it's going to speed up your cooking. So, but now it's on, you know, I can leave it. So I think it's a really good recipe for if, you know, you're at work or if you're going out or something along those lines. And I will show you it later when it is cooked. So can't wait for that. Nom 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 nom. So here is the stew after 6 hours of simmering away. Yeah, it's pretty epic looking. And what I'm going to do now is just portion it out so that I've got an idea of how many this actually serves, and I can work out how many points it will be. So I have measured it all out. Each of those has equal amounts in them, and each of those containers will do 2 portions. So it ended up serving 6. So it worked out as 6 points per portion, which is even better. So yeah, that's really cool. Because it's Mother's Day today, we actually spontaneously went out for lunch to Weatherspoons. We took Rich's mum and his stepdad out, so that was really nice. But we were both stuffed from lunch, so we're not actually going to be eating the stew that I made today. I am going to put one of these in the fridge once they've cooled down, and I'll be putting the other 2 in the freezer. So it will freeze, and then that's in there as like a nice low point meal I can take out in the week when I don't feel like cooking, and it's sort of ready to go. So that's really cool. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching the recipe, and I'll catch up with you later in the week. So it's Tuesday evening. Yeah, week's going really well. I'm trying a little experiment this week, so I have been tracking. I'm on track for the week. I haven't really used all of my weekly points before. Normally I you know, use some of them, or I use my rollover points, but I've never used all of my weekly points. And I just wanted to see, you know, if I would lose doing that, or if that would be a problem, because I guess you have the points there, you're supposed to use them, or you can use them if you want to. So yeah, basically, so that's what I'm doing. So we had fish and chips for dinner tonight, although actually I had scampi and chips, which was so good. It was yummy. So yeah, that's what's happening at the moment, and that's my weekly points done, and I will be, if I want any other things this week, it's going to be with the rollovers. But yeah, I'm just interested to see what happens at weigh day. Yeah, so I will let you know when I find out on Saturday. Yeah. Okay. So it's Friday morning. Yeah, the week was going very well. I know I mentioned that I was doing an experiment using all my weekly points. Then last night, every Thursday we have people round. We play Dungeons and Dragons, but there were snack foods, and I ate some of them, and I had already used all my weekly points. So I think I'm going to try it again next week using the weekly points, but I'm definitely going to make sure I save some for in case I need them, like on Thursday or Friday, because I didn't have any left, so that's it. I've gone over now. So I need either more willpower or to make sure I have a little supply of points left over. So that's cool, but still gonna, you know, try today, and yeah, we'll see what happens at weigh-in, and I may continue the experiment next week with some tweaks, and see if we can figure out what the optimal kind of eating ratio is. Yeah, I'll catch up with you on the way to weigh-in. I am just about to head in to get weighed. The week has been kind of a mixed bag, so I wouldn't call it a complete write-off, but also towards the end of the week, as I said, I ran out of points and blah blah blah. Anyway, so we'll see what the scales say. I have no idea. No clue. It could be a loss, it could be a gain, it could be stay the same. It's a mystery. It's quite exciting. So we will find out in a moment. Yeah, I'll talk to you when I get home, away from this horrible snow. So I'll see you then. So I'm back from my Weight Watchers meeting, and I lost 5 pounds this week, which is just an amazing result. So I'm really, really happy with that. So happy, in fact, that I may do a dance. So yeah, really pleased with the result, and yeah, just looking forward to next week, keeping up the momentum and just keeping going, and seeing what the future brings. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe, and I will continue next week, and we will continue our journey together. So see you then. Bye.